There's quite a lot of negativity. After that last match with Chelsea, there was a lot of negativity. We need a young, fast striker, I don't want anybody else on that pitch but that person. There was talks of Joe Bellingham from Sunderland.
I did have you very close to the bottom this season.
Oh, for that, the season just finished.
No,
I think everyone did.
For this season coming, I've done a prediction.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to oneWAYfootball one-on-one fan talk. I'm joined here today with one of Forest's biggest fans ever. He's a massive Forest fan. He was on the show before. A massive round of applause for Tom. Tom, how are you doing, mate?
Sound good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You must be buzzing for the last Forest season, how it finished up.
Unreal,
Europe and
mate.
that.
Unreal.
Unreal.
From where we were last season.
Yeah, you know what? It's just the way that things planned out. I mean, all right. I think you were probably on cloud nine when you were fighting for second place against Arsenal at some points. I mean, that was actually majority of the season. You were up there with us. And, you know, even to get seventh place and earning a spot in the Conference League is a massive achievement, being back in Europe. The last time you was in Europe, I think it was 95, 96.
Yeah.
When you was in Europe. So I
think it was it 90? I thought it was 93, 94.
No,
I'm not sure, but either way, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it was around there anyway, yeah. And you massive leap from the season before, because the season before you was on 32. You finished the season on 32 points, and you've like absolutely doubled even that by finishing the season on 65 points. How are you feeling about all this?
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. It's mad because there's quite a lot of negativity. After that last match with Chelsea, there was a lot of negativity. I think everyone had high hopes, but my point is if you'd have offered us seventh place at the start of the season, you just snapped your hand clean off.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you would have said that you were, like I said before, up there with Arsenal, you'd have probably laughed at a lot of people and gone, we're not going to be like fighting for second all of season. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be happening, but absolutely outstanding by Forest. The way that the team have brought themselves together, they've gelled so well. Chris Wood, what an absolute man, beast of a man, by the way. He's 33 and he's still knocking in 20 goals.
Yeah, there's people that saying that we need a young, fast striker, which is true, but my argument is with his experience, he just knows where to be. Don't get me, he doesn't do any A-makers, but he just is a tapping king, and he just knows where to be in that box. He knows where the ball's coming, and he just bang knocks them in.
Is there any talks of Forest bringing in another striker?
There is, yeah. I was reading it today. Can't remember. I've never heard of him before, to be honest. I can't remember now. I've been at work all day, so my head's a bit fried. About 17 million for this striker. I'll have to have a look at him.
Yeah, I think like now, because obviously Chris Wood is going to be like thinking about his future. Probably like, I mean, he's probably got another few more seasons in him, but you've got to look at it and go, right, okay, we'll probably go for someone younger anyway.
Yeah.
But just what he's done is phenomenal. Morgan Gibbs-White as well.
Top.
Yeah, his creative midfield is just been like mind blowing. You can't touch
what you see off the pitch as well, like on the Instagram pages and whatnot. Just he's like the gelling between them all. You know what I mean? He's hyping everybody up. He's just buzzing for everybody, and I think he pushes morale in the changing room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen that he's attracted some attention from some of the big clubs as well.
City's
like
on about him.
Yeah, City. Like, do you think you can keep him, or do you think he'll wander off?
I've heard he's staying.
Yeah.
Which I hope so.
Would that be your first choice, or would you like to bring someone in that position as well?
Nah, keep him there. Keep him there.
Yeah.
Someone who's happy to be there and actually doing well.
Yeah. And another one I want to just like point up on, Seals. Matt Seals is, oh my God. What a keeper he has been for you this season.
He's, I'd say, at least
From some of the
50%
big
of the
names that we
reason.
have in the Premier League, you just wouldn't even think about putting him up there. And now you can't even take him out of the question.
No. He's 50% of the reason why we are where we are. He's made some unbelievable saves. He's obviously got the Golden Glove award with, was it your keeper, wasn't it? Ray.
Yeah.
That last game when we conceded that goal, I was like, oh, Arsenal's got Southampton, Ray's got that, and then you lot conceded. I was like, they both got it.
Yeah, it was just like in your thoughts to the back of your head. Yeah, at least we got something out of this. Like,
yeah.
But you know what? I think I just want to ask you now. I've been thinking about it, and I've been saying this in. I don't know if you've seen some of the previous videos I've been doing. That I've said there is no excuse now for a Premier League side to get to the final of that Conference League or the Europa League because no
Not at all.
teams drop down into them. So, do you think that you can get to the final?
Yeah, absolutely. With that, with the way we've played this season, 100%. If we can strengthen up the midfield, I'd say, because I think that's even though we are a counter-attacking football team, which a lot of people don't like, I think if we hold on to the ball a lot longer, and I think we've got the worst possession and the worst pass rate, but if we can strengthen up that midfielder and the midfield, and get us a fast striker that can go with Callum Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, I think it would be massive.
Yeah. I mean, considering Nuno, like when he joined in December 2023, you were kind of battling to stay up at that point, and where he's taking you now is just what are your thoughts on Nuno right now?
Unreal, unbelievable. And then I think it was the Leicester game when Marinakis come out onto the field, which I didn't like to be honest. But there was a lot of talk about that, saying that Nuno's on about leaving, but as far as I'm aware, it's all nonsense.
Yeah, it's when I went to the Arsenal game away at Forest, you can sense as well in the ground, the fans know it, the team know it, and you're such a hard side to play against now.
It's loud, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the atmosphere is like overwhelming there now, and what you've achieved as well. We've got another one here. The team achieved landmarks away wins at Anfield and Old Trafford, their first ever since the venues at these venues since 1969 and 1994. So that means you've beaten the top 6 teams now with ease.
Yeah.
And that goes to show that you're moving forward. There isn't this sideways plan, or you're not moving down. You're progressing with your football.
That match at Anfield, it was quite early on. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th game in, and I was in Gran Canaria with family and friends. And I said to everyone, "Oh, we'll go Jamaica Bar and watch it with Donut." And me and Donut put a wager on with a lad that was with us, who was a Liverpool fan. And I bet you €10 we win. And he was like, "You've not won in years." I 100% set that. And then, to be fair, at the end of it, he gave me the money. He was like, "Yeah, fair play." But we just couldn't believe
it. It's such a hard place to go to.
Good dog. Well, when we came to yours, we lost 3. It was 3-0, but you had Saka that was quite strong at the start of the season. And then, no, did you have Saka back when you come back to the City ground? I don't think you did you?
No, we didn't. No, he was out.
No, but I think he was the main reason.
Yeah, we didn't have a striker. We had Marino up front as well. I mean, there was a couple of chances in that game, but no one either side really took them. But I think Forest at that point, they would have been happy to take away a point anyway.
All day, but towards the end, it was getting a bit.
Yeah. And
but it just shows what Nuno's done. Sorry,
go on. Carry on.
I says it just shows what Nuno's done. Like you say, he came in last December, and then I think last season we had the highest. What's it called? conceding rate of set pieces. We had the highest in the whole season. Nuno's come in and gone, right, defence needs massive. And he brings in that Milenkovic. Unbelievable. Him and Murillo, unbelievable together.
Yeah. Like I was about to say then, your FA Cup run as well was phenomenal. Getting to the semi-finals, since first time since 1991 as well. You're just breaking records now for your own side.
The whole season's been record breaking, and that semi final with Man City, you could just tell the lads looked knackered.
Yeah. So that means in the transfer window, you know you've got to go out. You've got to buy probably a couple of midfielders, centre back, and probably a striker, like we said before. If you're going to keep up there, I think it's going to be more of a test for you next season. We're being in Europe and more games being played. How do you see that panning out, though?
I'm hoping it's the complete opposite with what's happened with West Ham, because obviously they won the Conference League, didn't they? And then from them they just went straight down.
Mm. Yeah, it is tough being in. People like other teams don't understand this. It's easy to laugh at a team like say Arsenal that have come second like in the last 3 seasons and been in other competitions as well. But when you're going away in Europe and that, and you've got injuries, your injuries like mark rises like even more because you've got more games to play. So unless you don't build on the back of that, then you're completely done. Which I will say for Forest, they really need to look into it because, like you said, towards the end of the season, they looked a bit tired.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like you say about growing the squad depth, because as soon as one of them's injured, you go in. I don't want anybody else on that pitch but that person. I don't want anyone to. So when Olarena, that our right back, went out, it's like, who would you rather have in our squad there? And you're not happy with any of the results. To be fair to Toffolo, he actually pulled in quite strong the next game, but he didn't fully replace him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do though? You can't really blame the manager for putting out your best side. Do you know what I mean? When you're trying to achieve things to get into Europe and that is what can you say? Rather than you've just got to bite your tongue and get on with it. It is an absolute mind boggle when something happens. I mean, with us, Saka and Jesus getting injured, we were the same. So I can understand it in that perspective. I want to just hit a little point now. Seeing Sunderland come back up now, yeah. To now have that derby back in there, Newcastle versus Sunderland. What would you love to see Derby back in the Prem and have them days?
To be honest, as much as I can't stand Derby, when they got that big point deduction, I was like, that is harsh. But in the back of your head, you're like, nah. But I think the gloating side of me is like, enjoy your bottom of championship. We'll stay in the Prem.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to, you just hit a point there about the deduction, point deduction. Still haven't seen anything from. We've seen today. I think I've seen some players being linked to a move to Manchester City. And is it fair to say that where is this 115 charges gone?
Nowhere, they're gone.
Why are teams like yourself getting penalised and deducted when they've got this still charges? If they've won their battle with this, then why have no one said anything about it? You know,
it's
why are we
disgusting
still
in a
allowing
way.
why are these players still being linked with City if they're being penalised?
I know. It's for me when the January transfer window came in, and I think they spent, was it 200 or near on 200 million, and then they redone Haaland's contract for 500,000 a week. And at that point, I went, they've got nothing coming to them at all. They're not worried in the slightest.
Yeah,
that's when for me I was like, they're sound. They're absolutely sound.
Yeah, I feel for you guys because it wasn't when you talk about City and you talk about yourselves. Who else was it that got point deductions? It was
Everton.
you and Everton. Yeah,
Everton.
and it's just so unfair. It is so unfair that this is still going on. It's been nearly
And then Leicester's
three
getting
years
enamoured
now.
now, aren't they? Leicester's getting enamoured now.
Yeah, but
For
this is it.
not this season, for the season before when there was up.
But if they've won their court case, City, then why has no one publicised it? Or is it if it's still ongoing? Why are we seeing players still being linked to the club? They
Yeah,
should rule out. Okay, you've got court cases going on. You shouldn't be able to buy players or spend money at the moment until this court case is over. It,
yeah,
it's quite annoying to see, and that's what I did enjoy was the fact that you was up there, City were down there for a while, and I was thinking, no, fair play. That's what you deserve.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like you say, it is a punch in the gut when Forest get, what was it, 4 points? We've got a 4 pointer and then another 2 pointer or something like that deducted last season. And you're thinking, we've surely not broke that many rules. How are they still going?
Yeah, I'm my missus is a City fan, and I can't have a conversation with her about it because it ends up in an argument. But I don't get dinner put on my table. Let's put it that way. But no, it's just an ongoing thing that I think the FA need to look more into. It's not fair on these other teams
No.
getting penalised for it, and like Forest did. Um, but there's not much you can say on the matter because who are we to have our own opinion on the FA and what they do?
Would you like there to be a zero limit on spending?
Someone asked me this before, and I was like, well, when we talk about you've spent like Chelsea 1.4 billion, and I'm thinking, well, at the end of the day, everyone is human. Everyone is just all right. Some people have different paces. Some people are probably a little bit better at football and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, everyone's human. So
Yeah,
you're just sticking a price tag. It's like getting a Heinz ketchup and an ordinary ketchup. They might not taste the same, but you're putting a price tag on each one and rising it. But they do the same kind of thing, don't they?
yeah,
So in my eyes, I think the spend thing. I think everyone should be equal. Everyone at the
yeah,
beginning of the season should be like, this is how much you're allowed to spend. So say 200 million is your target and that is it. So that you can't go over that.
yeah,
I think when it gets to a point where financial fair play does come into it, then you know the rules have been broken.
yeah.
So I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think the same or?
I'm the same on that. Yeah, you should be given a set price. This is what you can do. Don't go over it. Um, but was talking about, funny enough, I was talking about this at work today, and one of the lads says, say for hypothetically, they go right, Man City, you've been charged, or you're getting all this. What should happen then? Should then the club say, right? Should they say to the club, you cannot have everything you've achieved in that span of time? So all your Premier Leagues, your Champions League, and so on, they get all scrapped. But then at the other side of the coin, you're going, well, it's not the players' fault, and they did actually achieve that. So should they keep their titles, and should the club not have the titles, which obviously don't sound right, but
Well, maybe that's what medals are for. You keep your medals, but we'll strip the
yeah,
trophies from the club.
yeah,
You
I
know,
think so.
at least then you get to keep your dignity and say, "Well, I did win this," but it's the club that's failed to keep it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
their
yeah,
status.
yeah,
Um, you know what though? I am pleased with Forest. At times, like we said with Donut. For those that are watching, that don't know, Donut he's a funny character over in the Canary Islands, but I do give him some grief. I do give him some, but he takes it.
yeah.
He kind of bites. When I fish it out to him, he bites. Because he was on about getting the Champions League and that. Like, was that a massive blow to you though? Like not having that Champions League.
Yeah, of course it was, because obviously it was third place all the way from December, I think it was. And then to lose to, obviously they are good teams, but to lose to Leicester, who wasn't doing very well, who was already relegated. Not lose, sorry, we drew, didn't we? To not get that point, those 2 points that we was massive. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth.
How did it?
But
How
then
was it meant to pan? How was it meant to pan out? Did you need Newcastle to lose and Aston Villa to lose and you to win?
all the stars aligned except for that. Even if we drew, we'd been in the not the we'd been in the Europa League. Even
Europa
if we
League,
drew,
yeah. So
and if we won,
to
we'd
get
been in the
Champions League,
Champions
you
League.
needed that to happen.
Yeah,
I've said before, like Newcastle was so lucky, weren't they? To just like things weren't even going their way. They just got there in pot luck. Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy to
But to
think
be
about
fair,
that.
they've killed us this season. They've done the double on us. We was beat. I was at the Newcastle match at the City Ground, and Murillo got his first goal, and then I was with my cousin, and we were screaming our heads off, going, we're doing Newcastle," and then they just went bang, 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 and shot another 3 goals, and was like, okay, that's just took the wind out of you a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you talk about big wins and that, your 7-0 victory at home against Brighton, but you lost the game before that, didn't you?
Bournemouth 5-0.
That's it, yeah. So I was like, wow, that is a massive defeat and a massive blow for Forest. Their moral must be right down. Go to Brighton, so you just smash them out the park. I was mind
It
blown.
was unreal, unreal.
I couldn't wrap my head around it. Did you?
Like you say, you're thinking morale's down. They're going to be absolutely gutted because of that. And then because the lead up to it, everyone was saying Forest defence is so good, like they're basically a brick wall. And then Bournemouth just bang 5 past you, and you're going, well, that can't be true then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But look, listen, Tom, it's fantastic having you on the show.
How do?
And just before you leave, I want to ask you one thing: Are you going to win silverware next season?
100%.
100%. And whereabouts do you
100%.
think you're going to be finishing in the table? I don't know
Top
if
7
you've seen.
again.
I don't know if you've
Top
seen
7
my
again.
prediction video.
I haven't, no.
So I did have you very close to the bottom this season.
Oh, for
Coming.
that, the season just finished.
No,
I
for
think
this
everyone
season
did.
coming. For this season coming, I've done a
Oh,
prediction for.
thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think you're going to struggle with the whole Europe and in the Premier League with domestic cups and that. It'll be just like I say. It'd be interesting to see who you bring in the window. But I
There
just
was
have this
talks of
feeling.
Joe Bellingham from Sunderland,
Oh, from Sunderland. I mean, that could be a good
but
shout. To be fair,
that was
I
all
would.
when everyone was saying if they lost to Sheffield, if they lost, there was on about saying, but I think because Sunderland's gone up, he'll stay now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but then again, he has to look at it and think, would he want to be in Europe? You know,
Mm,
that's it's another pool to be fair.
yeah,
Um, but look, listen, where are you going to think you're going to be? You haven't told me. Where do you think in
top
the league?
7, top
Top
7.
seven. There we go. So we're going to get silverware and top 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that now. All right, then,
And
mate. Well, Tom, thank you
if
very
it's
much
worse
for
than that, don't bring it back up.
screenshot, clipped it, recorded it. It's the whole thing. It's done, saved.
Sound.
Thanks for coming on, Tom, mate. Always a pleasure, and I hope you do well in the future and enjoy. You're going to Gran Canaria soon, so enjoy that as well, mate.
Down, dude. See you in a bit.
All right. Don't forget to like
Have
and subscribe the video, and we shall see you very, very soon. Thank you very much.